Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys for watching. In today's video, it's going to be all about friendships. Oh boy. Oh boy, do I know a thing or two about those. I'm weird. I need to stop that. I thought friendships would be a perfect topic for this week because yesterday was International Women's Day, and I think it was Women's Week in general. I'm not too quite sure. Friendships is a difficult one to talk about. I place a lot of importance on my women friendships just because I feel like it is such an important thing and we need to nourish and nurture those friendships. There's kind of been this thing where it's like, it's okay, it's seen as good or cool, or you're better than everyone else because you don't have a lot of friends or because you can cut people off easily. That is toxic, that is unhealthy, that is just what I want to say. I'm quick to cut a bit off. That is toxic, that is unhealthy. Sort it out. You have a problem. Like, I'm just so passionate about it because I love the women in my life. I love the friends in my life. So if I lose a friend, I take that very personally. If you find yourself cutting off friends and making new friends every so often, so you're losing your old friendship groups and moving towards new friendship groups, there's nothing wrong with making new friends, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if it becomes a pattern, I think you have to, do a re-evaluation of yourself because there's something wrong. A lot of the time, like I mentioned in my last girl talk video, we're very quick, especially as women, to point blame. We do it in relationships, we do it in friendship, and sometimes a lot of us are void of responsibility and taking responsibility for our actions. I know personally, I don't know how to apologize. I don't know how to say sorry. I don't know. It's just not something I do. I would rather blame you than apologize. That is obviously not right. Don't go and apply this to your everyday life. I am trying to change a lot of this toxic behavior and patterns and characteristics we like to take into our friendships. And when these friendships fall apart, instead of re-evaluating ourselves and looking at ourselves and saying, what can we change? We are very, very, very quick to blame the other friend. I see it a lot and I do it myself. I feel like it is a tragedy, just tragic, really tragic, when we lose good friends over petty things. And I myself know and have been victim to a situation like that because we think she violated me, it's a bio, oh my gosh, how could she do that? I'm not going to apologize, I'm not going to talk to her, I'm not going to message her. We'll rather put more work into our relationships and our relationships with men and all of that rather than into our friendships. And I really just think if he's not your husband, girl, bye. That is a whole nother topic. That is a whole nother girl talk. And if you guys want me to talk about relationships and men and the toxic side of men and how they can drive you insane, just hit me up in my DM. So a lot of times when we lose these friendships, they can genuinely feel like breakups. Like, I know sometimes a lot of people don't want to place that kind of importance on friendship, and I myself have experienced a situation. So I had this friend in uni, you know exactly who you are, and I met her through another friend, you know exactly who you are. Everything was going well until a situation occurred, and I didn't like the way she responded to the situation, and she didn't like the way I responded to the situation, and it just kind of just went into a frenzy. Obviously I did my fair share of bad things, like I didn't threaten her. I threatened to expose some things about her, which is really, really bad. And then I kind of woke up to indirects from her saying, I'm not afraid to fuck a bitch. I ain't no bitch, and ain't no bitch fucking me up. So what we gonna do? But it's all good because we're sisters now, besties like this. For me, in friendships, I kind of draw the line when you threaten me, or you threaten to touch me, or you threaten to beat me up. I just feel like when you're supposed to be good friends, there's just certain lines that you just shouldn't cross. So for me, that was a ticking point, and for her, the fact that I threatened to expose her business, that was just the tipping point. She just felt like, if she's my friend, why would she really do this? And I was sitting there like, if she's my friend, why should we really do this? There was a lot of back and forth, but not back and forth between us, back and forth between everybody else. This is lesson number one within friendships. If you have a problem with your friend, if there's something that you don't like, honey, there is no point going to tell your other best friend and tell your other friend who's also friends with her. Mix up central. There is no need. Go straight to your friend and tell your friend how you feel. I know it's hard sometimes explaining to your friend that you did this and it made me feel some type of way. And in relationships, romantic relationships, sometimes it's a lot easier. With our friendship, because we don't place that importance on it, sometimes it's kind of like, oh, it's not that deep, let me just leave it. And I am a big, oh, it's not that deep kind of girl. Sometimes I will sit there and I'll feel a certain type of way, and then I'll just brush my feelings to the side and I'll be like, oh, I'm overthinking it, it's not that deep. And this is how feelings fester. With that particular friendship, that was a very big problem for me. That is what I did, as in I was a problematic one. I felt some type of way about different situations, but I never spoke on it. I just kept it to myself that, oh, okay, this is how I feel. You did this, and I'm not saying that makes you a bad person. I'm not saying that that makes you a shit friend, but this is how it made me feel, and it is so important. Without that, you lose communication. I mean, what is the one thing they say that you need in a good relationship? Communication. So why don't we apply that to our friendship? If your friend's done something that you don't like or that has pissed you off, let them know. I'm not saying let it be a thing 24/7 where you're literally bashing your friend. You did this and you did this and you a hoe and you a slut. No. And usually how you feel is correct. You're not gonna feel how you feel for no reason. And your feelings are not invalid and your feelings are not wrong. So if you feel a certain type of way, speak on it. With that particular situation, I didn't. And for me, when feelings fester, they just become this one big ball of anger. And sometimes when you're on the opposing end, as a friend, you just think, well, where the hell is all of this coming from? You never told me that, and why have you kept quiet about this for so long? And sometimes for the other party, it's unfair because you're throwing like weeks and weeks or months and months or even maybe years of unspoken feeling, and you've literally thrown it at your friend. That is unfair. We got over the situation. She apologized, I apologized, and we started speaking again. But then, ding, 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 problem number two. I don't know how to forgive people. Like, I feel like I know how to forgive, but I don't know how to forget. And this is a very big thing. If you've forgiven but you haven't forgotten, have you really forgiven that person? Until you really address the feelings, darling, you say you've forgiven that person, but the feelings are still festering. And that's exactly what I did. I feel like from both sides, there was always this, not resentment, but there was always this kind of thing where we held back. Like, we would be good, but I know I felt like, I can't really trust her. If you don't trust your friend, what is the point? Like, there's no point. Because you're always going to be holding back, and that was what I was doing. If something went wrong, or if you felt or she did something, I would just feel like, yep, she did it purposely, it was intentional, because I know she really doesn't like me and I don't really like her. That is not a friendship. It's not a friendship, guys. It's toxic. Not only toxic for your situation, those people that are also friends with you, your friendship group, it's toxic for yourself, because you are literally holding in all this resentment and unspoken bad feelings. We would be good, but it wasn't good. It wasn't just a pure friendship. So obviously all these feelings build up, and this leads to a lot of situations where don't need to happen. We used to constantly argue every single time. It became a thing where it was just like very toxic, this unspoken tension. We had arguments, and when I say arguments, I mean arguments, as in screaming matches, doors slamming, things breaking. Like, it was we'd argue and then we'd be friends the next day, and which is kind of a good thing, because then it's like, yeah, you can get over your feelings quickly. Sometimes you find that you're not really addressing feelings properly, and just because you want the tension to be over, just because you just want, like, you just want peace, like, you'll just be like, okay, cool, I apologize, and you move on. But yeah, so the end of the year came and everything was good until there was this big situation and a lot of things happened. There was a lot of he said, she said, but through the end of it, we were still supposed to be friends. Obviously, the situation has happened and it's a very sore, tough situation, very delicate, but I am mentally exhausted from the whole situation and the whole year in general. So I just want to move out and get out of my uni accommodation and get back to London. I just didn't want to be there anymore. So obviously everyone left the house and she was the only one left there. At the time, she now has explained to me and us talking about it, that how she felt it was literally like we were abandoning her, and everyone just went back to London and everyone just went to go on and live their lives, and nobody was really checking up on her, and nobody really like was making sure she was good. And in hindsight, I now see the error of my ways. If I was her, I would have definitely 100% felt that way too. Because of that, she then stopped speaking to me and she stopped speaking to our friendship group. We literally went the whole of summer and maybe like the whole of half of third year without talking. As much as I thought to myself, yeah, I don't need her, fuck that bitch, I don't care about her, it hurt me a lot, because as much as we had her up and down, she is someone that I would talk to every single day. It literally felt like a loss, it felt like a breakup, it felt like, okay, so like, what do I do with myself now? Who do I share hair videos with on Instagram? Like, even though it sounds really petty, but these are the things that nurture and nourish a relationship, and these are the things that form friendships. Basically, me and my friendship group, we were supposed to live with her in third year. We decided that, yeah, since she doesn't want to talk to us, since she doesn't want to associate with herself with us, we're just gonna kick her out of the house. I'm just spilling all the tea here, but now we're good friends, we're sisters, so it really doesn't matter. Looking back on it, and I just realized how petty we are. Well, she responded and there was a kind of a very few catty comments here and there. That is one thing as well. When you fall out with your friends and when you have an argument with your friends, as hard as it is not to be mean and horrible, try not to. If you guys are meant to be friends, and if that situation is supposed to happen, you guys will naturally work your way back to each other. It becomes a lot harder to do so when you said some really horrible stuff. Lesson number 3, I think, is when you fall out and when you have disagreements, try your hardest to hold back on saying horrible stuff and horrible personal stuff. As much as us girls can be like, well, I don't care about what she says, I don't care what she thinks of me, we hold these comments dear to our heart, and these are comments that we carry with us and we carry in our inner and we carry in our being, and it's just horrible, because then it really kind of reflects on the person that you are, one, and then really kind of reflects on who you think that person is, how you've kind of always regarded them. Because I know from personal experience, when people make those kind of comments, it's just like, well, damn, so is that what you always really thought of me? Looking back on it, on how I felt and how she felt, I would say this situation could have just been easily avoided. All it took was a conversation. Lesson number 4. Not every disagreement needs to be an argument. And I've been preaching this for the longest time. I might not always follow it, but I highly believe in it. And I'm relating this back to myself, that the fact that We could have worked that out a long time ago. It didn't need to take us the whole of summer and the whole of third year for us not to speak. It was at the root of it kind of a simple problem, kind of not, but all it took for us was to work it out. Once it kind of gets into that big argument stage, it's kind of hard to draw it back. It's kind of hard to get back to the friendship, because now it's an argument. It's literally like you're in Mortal Kombat. So like you're in war. Oh, I'm gonna one up her. I'm gonna show her that I don't need her. As much as you ladies will try and disagree and say, oh no, I'm not like that, we are. And as much as I pretended not to care, I did care. She dropped me out and she didn't explain to me why. She didn't tell me why. I'm also gonna address that and just kind of what to do in that kind of situation, because it's very hard when one of your supposed good friends stops talking to you, like, and they don't give you any explanation, and you will ask them like, what have I done, what did I do, and they just won't have any answer for you. Being someone who's been in that situation, who's been the friend that's been dropped out with any explanation, and being the someone, I'm ashamed to say it, the friend that dropped people out with any explanation, I could give you a bit of insight on both. When I was the friend that dropped someone out with any explanation, it was a thing for me that it was just like, why wouldn't she understand how I feel? Why wouldn't she know that this is something that would upset me? Why is that something I should explain to her? While I'm entitled to my feelings, we also have to remember, and I should have remembered at the time, that nobody is psychic. Nobody lives in your mind. Explain your feelings. Don't let every disagreement become a massive blow up and an argument. And I did that, and I let it become that, and I regret it from the bottom of my heart. I do honestly regret it. I don't want to get emotional, but yeah. And being as a friend who's been in that situation, who's been dropped out with no explanation, I wish my friend just spoke to me. I wish she just told me, this is how you feel. I always say, if a friend is really your friend, they will appreciate it, and they might not sometimes accept it. They might not sometimes accept your feelings, but they will receive it. A friend that is quick to get defensive, a friend that is quick to cut you off, a friend that is quick to basically make your feelings invalid. I'm not saying that they're not your friends, but either you let them know, this is how you're making me feel. You're constantly making me feel like my feelings are not valid. If they still don't change, that person is not your friend. I'm sorry to say. They might have the best intentions for you, but if they can't accept and receive how you feel, and you've come to them on a normal approach, and when I say good approach, I don't mean bitch. Oh shit. I trusted you. You betrayed me. Like, how could you? Your mama? No. That's not how we approach friends, because you can't spend the rest of your life in silence, and you cannot spend the rest of your life in silence just because you want to make your friend feel comfortable. If your friend is not comfortable with your feelings, tell them they better get comfortable or they can hit the door. It was halfway through third year, and one of my very close friends, you know who you are, was having a party for her birthday. Basically came to me saying that her and the other friend are cool, and the friend that I fell out with and I wasn't talking, they're cool and everything's calm, and she really wants to invite her to the party, but the friend that I fell out with, that I'm no longer talking to, doesn't want to come because she feels like I would be mean to her, I would make her feel uncomfortable. And looking back on it now, I definitely got angry at my friend that she was even telling me this, because I was thinking, well, you know, I'm not that type of person, you know, I'm not going to do this, so why is this even a discussion? So I was pottering over it for ages, thinking, oh, should I just go out of my way and just message her? Should I just go and talk to the girl? Should I just go and call her? But I didn't want it to be a thing where it was like, oh, well, she told me this, and she told me this is how you felt, and is that really how you felt, and all of this. I didn't want it to be that. Sometimes with me, when things are on my mind, they don't just sit on my mind, they sit on my heart. And I feel like sometimes it's like God pushing me to do things. It was like maybe a week or 2 weeks from the party, and I walk into the library, and guess who I see? And she's sitting down there, so she hasn't seen me, and I was literally about to do the biggest U-turn ever, and my mind was telling me, avoid, red alert, bad situation, understand, go the other way. But my heart and God was telling me, understand, go and talk to that girl. And we ended up having like a 4-hour, 5-hour conversation, heart to heart, about how we felt, about how everything that happened. And now she's one of my closest friends. I regard her as my sister. I tell her absolutely everything. So now I've had a question. What do I look for in a friendship? As someone who's quite bad with maintaining friendships, what's some advice you can give to me to practice maintaining friendships? I'm quite bad with messaging, checking, etc. And if you're not actively in my life, like at uni or live near me, what do I look for in a friendship? First of all, humor. Like, y'all, ow! Y'all may not know, but I'm a funny ass bitch. I won't lie to you. I look for humility in friendships. I look for humility in people. I tend to draw towards people who are motivated, who want to be something in life, who want to do something in life. And what was the rest of the question? As someone who's quite bad with maintaining friendships, what's some advice you can give to me to practice maintaining friendship? So all the kind of tips I gave you, that is a good way to maintain friendships. And she says, I'm quite bad with messaging and checking up on people who are not actively in my life. So for example, who are with them at uni. This is a very important thing, and this kind of touches on the point of having different friends for different things, which I strongly believe in. If you feel like you're that person always slacking and not messaging your friends, go out of your way, make the effort, because it's the same thing in a relationship. You have to make effort to see your loved one, you have to make effort to see your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. So that same effort should be applied to your friendships as well. And if you live in different unis and stuff like that, it may be a bit harder. But I know with Winnie is my friend, well, she went to another uni and I went to one uni, and it was like 2 hours apart. So for like different events, when you're going to a rave or like a party, I will always do my best to invite her. And if she can't come, then she can't come. But if she can come, she can come. And then when she comes, we get to spend time together. Especially talk to your friends outside of uni, because what if you fall out with all your friends in uni? What are you going to do then? I know myself, I'm a very lazy person and I'm an introvert as well. So when I see someone FaceTiming me unexpected or calling me, I'm just like, text when you can, call when you can, even if it's just sharing funny DMs and sharing hair Instagram videos. Like, it's just those things, they count. Okay, so the next question I had was, how do you tell a friend you've had from high school that the friendship is over because we are growing apart? We don't have the same, it says we don't change, but I'm assuming she means we don't have the same values or the same life anymore, etc. This is a difficult one. Like, there's such thing as growing apart, but where you don't have the same values anymore, you don't have the same life anymore, that hurts. I don't know if I've ever personally gone through that. That's a bit ooh, like, how did you get right there? It is usually best to just be absolutely honest as you can. Like I said, it's not good to just cut people off and ignore people, because you leave people feeling hurt. Just as relationships need closure, friendships that are over need closure too. So it doesn't have to be a face-to-face conversation. I feel like that might be very hurtful. It might be a thing over the phone as to why the friendship is basically over. That doesn't make her any less of a good friend. That doesn't make her any less of a person. That doesn't make you any less of a person or good friend. Things have just changed. I wouldn't say that you need to sit down and have a whole talk about everything that went wrong and where it went wrong, but I feel like just an addressing of the fact that it has gone wrong would be good enough. How can you tell you have real friends, and how do you make friends? Because I feel like I only have people I associate with. There's a plethora of things that you can usually tell about people who are not genuine friends. Be very observant. I'm a very observant person. I pick up on vibes. I pick up on energy. I can feel it straight away. If something is off, I will usually sense it. If people are quick to make very snide comments that they'll play off as jokes, but sister girl, people who don't support you, they're not your genuine friends. Like, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found this video useful. If you haven't already subscribed and you're watching this video, what are you waiting for? Join the family. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye. I've been going for a minute, now I'm back with this goons in the club, keep something